We're live. Okay, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Oxford Town Council meeting conducted through Zoom and live to Facebook for April 19th, 2022. Call the meeting to order. First, I'd like to welcome Stanley McDougall to his first meeting. He's a new member of the office staff. And congratulations to Linda. She is now officially our town CAO. So thank you very much for taking that position, Linda. We're all very grateful. And we know how valuable you are. Can we have a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved.
So moved by Councillor Jones, second by Councillor McDonald.
A change in the agenda there?
Oh, is there a change?
There is. We want to move 6.3 and 6.5 to in camera.
Okay, sorry about that. Yes, okay.
You don't have it online.
Okay. So do we need another motion now, or can we go with the same motion?
With the same motion, we just need to, if everyone's in agreement, we can vote.
Yes. All those in favor of amending the agenda? Raise a hand, please. Motion carried. Thank you. First off, 3.1 is a proclamation that's in your package. I'm told I'll have to read it. So bear with me. Whereas January 15th, 2022 was the 230th anniversary of 15 ships departing the harbor of Halifax in 1792, and that the conditions and causes that led to the exodus of 1,196 self-liberated Black loyalists were conditions of abject institutionalized racism, and that this departure took place at the height of transatlantic chattel slave trade, one of the cruelest chapters in the history of humanity. Whereas the town of Oxford recognizes that people of African descent have been a part of Canadian society since the early 1600s, and that their enslavement occurred on this land for centuries, and that the Black loyalist departure is linked to the failure of institutional, political, and societal will to fulfill the promises that were made to the communities that left for Sierra Leone. Whereas the town of Oxford is committed to remote histories, such as the 15 ships to Sierra Leone, that have often been left in a vacuum of erasure. The resources provided for well-known monumentation have historically been funded at the expense of these erasures. Whereas the town of Oxford continues to recognize the ongoing significance of the UN Decade of Black African Descent and the importance of recognizing the history of Black loyalists in Nova Scotia, and how all communities in Nova Scotia continue to be affected by the historic rift of the Black community. Whereas we recognize that secure housing and land was promised to these early settlers, and very few received what is owed. Despite petitions by Thomas Peters, the promised lands and supplies were not provided. For many Black loyalists, shared Mi'kmaq knowledge was a key for survival in the first winters. Reparations for injustice is a path forward. Therefore, be it resolved that I, Mayor Gregory Henry, declare January 15, 2022 was the day of the Black loyalist exodus. 15 ships to Sierra Leone, number 1792 project, and that we mark this year as the 230th anniversary of the 15 ships to Sierra Leone, number 1792 project, dated at Oxford, Nova Scotia, this 19th day of April, 2022. Okay, next up, you've all got minutes in your package. We're looking for motion to approve the council minutes, previous minutes from the previous council meetings. We have a motion to that effect to approve all three. Moved by Councillor Edshed. Do we have a seconder? Second by Councillor Black. All those in favor, please raise a hand, signifying your agreement. Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Next up, number 5, new business. Accounts receivable write-off included in the package. I'm going to turn the floor over to Ruth Ann Brookins. She's going to fill us all in here.
Okay, these are accounts that have been old for a number of years and have not been written off the books. They are accumulating interest as time goes on, and we do not have any chance of collecting them. They are obsolete accounts now, so we can't do anything like turn off the water or anything to collect these. So I'm asking permission to write them off the books so our receivables are in a better light as to what they really are.
So just to add to those, we were saying that these accounts are inactive. There's currently
Inactive.
no.
That was the word I was looking for, Linda. Thank you.
There's no water service going to
I
those
was
accounts.
searching. Yeah.
Anybody have any questions for Ruth Ann? Councilor Colburn.
So all of these accounts, there's no way to shut the water off?
They currently don't have water. The water is off on those accounts.
They are inactive. There's a couple of them too that the people have sold their homes and moved away. And we've sent out numerous statements and whatnot to try to collect these, and no avail.
Do any of these people hold any property in Oxford that we're able to put a lien on?
They do own property, but they're water taxes. They're not property taxes. So that's
Question.
there's questionable too. The ones that are on the paper, the majority have to do with the meters, and when the meters were switched to having multiple units on one meter, and I wasn't here at that time, so I don't know the full stories on.
I can explain that a little bit, if that's okay.
Yeah, Linda should talk on
So
this. Yeah.
a few years ago, if you remember, there was a few waters that had to be, they were charged more base than was required. So we had a backdate. There's 2 here that had more meters on than was what they considered as necessary. But technically, they did have the meters on, so we were able to charge the base, but they feel it's an error. And we've been trying to collect for the last few years, probably at least 6 years for these outstanding accounts.
They just feel they do not owe it.
Yeah.
And since the meters have been shut off, and they've been sitting on the books, and our receivables look like we have all kinds of people, it just makes our receivables more real, because we are now doing a lot to receive the money that people are currently using services for us for, but these people don't require this particular service from us any longer. So the chances of getting that money.
So if that property changes hands, is that still on a bill that has to be cleared before the deed is transferred?
Not with water. When you sell property, you do not have to pay the water off.
No.
Okay, you've heard the suggestion from somebody else. Have any other questions? Do we have
The biggest thing about this is that it makes it a truer number for our accounts. So we're working with real numbers, especially with budget time coming ahead. So, because the interest gathering on these old accounts is really high.
Councilor Colburn?
These meters, you said, Linda, are actually shut off, there's no water going?
No service. I think there's one that's on there is deceased as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
mean, we could shut the interest off and not let the interest falsely accumulate, because that's what it's been doing now for 6 or 7 years. Or, but the chances of recovering these accounts is just, Leave me alone.
Roseanne, when's the last time anything was written off the bad debt from the town, do you know?
I don't know. I couldn't find anything where any of this was ever done. So
Is-
it should be, our auditor suggested that we should be writing bad debt off, because it does give a truer picture of the books once we've tried to collect the receivables. So as an accounting person, I like the books to look real.
The last time we had a write-off was about 4 years ago. And it was for one property.
So what procedure has been done as far as trying to collect these accounts? Have we sent them to collection agencies or?
No, I haven't sent them to collection agency. I've sent them out statements, conversation with two of them. One of them's passed away, so I'm not gonna have a conversation there. And then I know for sure one moved.
But if it's a real true balance that's owed, it's not fair to the rest of the residents that we write those off. It's, I think we should try and send them to collection.
Well, yeah.
I mean, I know you.
The
only get-
majority of what's there is one property. The other ones are so tiny that if you put in the administration costs of trying to collect these, then you're looking at a whole new cost too. So just forewarning you there, there's some costs there. If you look at the details, you'll see the big one there, and that's been owing since 2007.
Yeah, and I honestly don't think you're gonna collect that.
Yeah.
And the other two that are there, that are numerous ones, those were, I feel, those are something that accumulated over time that was a mistake by the town. And those people will not pay that, I guarantee.
They won't.
you.
I've had conversations. They're not pleased, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would make a motion to write them off.
Okay, got a motion by Counselor Jones. Do we have a seconder?
I would second it.
Second by Counselor McDonald. Counselor McKnight, you get your hand up. You have a question? You're on mute. Okay, all those in favor of the motion, please raise your hand so we can get a count for everybody. And it looks like it's unanimous. Thank you, everybody. Motion carried. Water arrears collection, verbal presentation. I think that's Ruth Hannigan.
Do you want me to go ahead, Ruth Ann? or-
Yes, I do.
Okay, so this one here, we need council support on this to follow the tax and water collection policy. This policy had been on the wayside of not being followed, and now following that, there's a few accounts that are well behind and should have been, some admin should have been addressed earlier. So now we're in this position where there's some accounts that have a high balance, that would be hard for them to pay off in one lump sum. But it states in the policy that we have given the arrears notice of 10 days as of the date of that was due. And then we gave the 5 days of notice of intent. So now we're at the point, we're waiting for that 5 business day of notice of intent, but the next step will be to disconnect. So we're just looking for some guidance or direction from council, whether we continue with this path and start the disconnect, or if this being a first time round of just for this one time, to allow maybe some plans for up to, say, anybody that's 500 and more, maybe have a payment plan or something like that as a suggestion from staff. But whatever council wishes, we would hold true.
Counselor Black.
We already issued the 5 days notice.
It's in the middle of that right now. So next week would be the due date in which we would need to act.
Okay, Counselor McKnight had her hand up first.
I'm
Councilman
hoping you
Fox?
can hear me. I just think they have some sort of payment plan. I don't see why we need to turn them off.
Okay, can I speak to this?
Yes,
Um,
you're muted,
Sorry,
Lieutenant.
I'm muted again. Just saying that we have sent out statement notices all year long. And we sent out a first notice with the water. And about 10 people came in, automatically paid it off. Another 10 people made substantial payments. So the rest of the people who had totally ignored that notice got a second notice saying they were going to get a notice in 10 days to disconnect. So if they ignored it again, we did put out the disconnect notice for 5 days. So they have actually had 2 warnings and a notice of disconnect. So for anybody who's contacted me and made substantial effort to pay it off, they haven't got a notice. But I just feel payment plans aren't always the answer, because if somebody's offering to pay $10 on a debt of $3,000, if they're offering to pay $10 a month, it's not touching it. It's not touching the interest. So they need to see how it's working out for them on a long-term basis, not just to set them up on a payment plan for the sake of saying you're on a payment plan.
Councilor Edgell?
I think we have a policy in place and we should follow it. We shouldn't deviate from it. I guess if we disconnect and they come in and they show us a reasonable payment plan that they can come up with, that's fine. But if they fall away from it, then we automatically disconnect.
Councilor Black?
Then they have to pay the reconnection, is there?
There's a reconnection fee if there's a water disconnection. But in order to be connected back in, I understand, and I could be wrong, but if I remember correctly, they would have to pay their balance in full in order to be reconnected, plus the connection fees.
There is a connection fee and disconnection fee of $50, because it's all administration costs. Even looking up these statement of balances and putting out the notices and all that. There's cost. It's not like other companies don't do it either, so.
Right, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, any other questions or comments? Councilor Colburn?
Yes, Linda is correct about what she just said. And we did have a policy, but in the past, it's been let go, and the policy just hasn't been followed. So I assume from now on, we're gonna follow the policy strict, and when their time is up, we're not gonna be let go, and that's what happens. People get so far behind that
They can't get ahead. No, it's a shame.
And I guess if these people, if you've sent out 3 different things and people haven't notified you, haven't made any substantial claim to try to at least pay it, well, then they're just gonna keep doing that.
Okay. Anybody else have any questions or comments? Linda, do you need a motion from council, or is what's already in the bylaws effective?
We have clear direction. The direction, if I understand correctly, is we will follow the policy unless there's a substantial payment plan. If all comes and nods, yeah. We're good with direction.
Okay, fine, thank you. We'll move on to the next item. Phased in assessment agreement, GJDE Enterprises. Linda, I'm turning the floor over to you on this.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. So the GJDE, we had mentioned it at the committee of the whole. This is an agreement, a phased-in agreement to phase in their property that they had just developed down here on Water Street. So we're just looking to see if we continue with that motion that you have made and recommended at the committee of the whole to accept this agreement and to enter this agreement with GJDE to phase in.
Okay, Councilor Edgell?
I'll make the motion that we accept the agreement as presented at the committee of the whole meeting.
I'll second it.
Moved by Councillor Edged, seconded by Deputy Mayor McDonald. All those in favor, please raise a hand. Okay, motion carried. Thank you. Next up, we have the phased-in assessment agreement for Oxford Frozen Foods Limited. Linda, again.
Thank you. So we have another phased-in agreement with Oxford Frozen Foods. It's on Main Street. It's for their office building. They had just developed that here recently as well. So they're looking for a 10-year phased-in on the property as well. The same agreement type as we just did in 5.3. So we're just looking, and it was recommended as per our committee of the whole meeting just at 2 weeks ago.
I'll move we accept the agreement.
We've got a motion by Deputy Mayor McDonald. Do we have a seconder?
Second.
Okay, that was Councilor Jones, I think. All those in favor, please raise a hand. Motion carried. Thank you. Next up, Arena Association Committee added to the 2021 boards and committees. Councilor Jones, I see your name's written here beside this.
Working with the committee, they were trying to have a 5-year plan to run the arena, and it came to light that the insurance, they had to have a policy in place for the summer months, and them being a nonprofit organization, it's hard to raise $5,000 for insurance policy. So if we were able to add that committee as a committee of the town of Oxford, they could be our booking agent for the off season. And that would mean that we wouldn't have to have, or they wouldn't have to have a separate insurance policy. So I would like to talk with council on that and see what they think about that, and then put it into a motion to accept that as a new committee for the town of Oxford.
Okay, any questions to Council Deputy Mayor McDonald?
So we're gonna table this till the next meeting?
Well, if you want to table it.
I mean, like, you wanna discuss?
Well, I want to have a discussion if anyone has any questions and so on, and if they don't, then I'd like to make a motion to add them as a committee, and Linda has the names. And then they would be our booking agent. They would look after all the bookings, and then everything would still have to be funneled through the town as far as any, monies received and so on. But at least there isn't a town member trying to book the arena, or, we funnel all the calls through them and so on.
Well, Deputy Mayor, yeah, Councilor, yes.
So this would fall under our insurance policy for the summer months?
Yes.
And then they cover it in the winter months. So the off
Exactly.
season.
Then we'd have the same agreement in place as soon as the ice goes in until the ice goes out. And that way, it saves around $5,000 in insurance.
Do they know how many events they're gonna have or anything, or does it really matter with our insurance policy if it is falling under us?
Well, it shouldn't be very many events, maybe the odd one, the farm day and things like that, I think.
Yeah, and then still the exhibition has to have their part in
Yeah.
the,
The exhibition would have to make sure they're insured.
And it doesn't cost us anymore,
no.
because we already have the
No.
insurance here.
The only thing it does, it gives them control a little bit over the arena as far as what work they've done so far. I mean, they've spent a tremendous amount of time in there, and if anybody's gone into the facility, it looks fantastic, and it'd be a shame that they couldn't keep it that way right straight through till next fall, so.
And I understand they carried the insurance for an extra month because they were still working in there, so where they had workers, they felt they should keep the insurance to cover that. So once they were done that, they were gonna stop the insurance from the conversation I had with, I believe that's.
Ask for a motion to carry.
So I would like to make that as a motion to add them as a committee of the town of Oxford.
I'm gonna list the names off here now,
Okay.
as part of this
And I would
motion.
like to second it, and you can read it.
Perfect. So we're talking Jordan Burkhart, he would be president of the committee. Graham Wood, vice president. Robert Moores, secretary. Paula Roger, treasurer. Russell Thompson, Patrick Rushton, Kristen Thompson, Shannon Hanna, and Murray Thompson.
Okay,
So
we've got a
the
motion.
committee We do need to have one member of
I
council
was just
on
gonna
the,
ask that,
yeah, one,
should be one member on council.
I would go on maybe.
okay.
Just asking for
So
a
as long as we have, Paul.
If there's anybody else that wants to, they're more than welcome.
Okay, we've got a motion on the floor by Councillor Jones, second by Deputy Mayor McDonald. All those in favor, please raise a hand. Contrary minded, please speak up. Motion carried. Thank you. Okay, next up, approval of updated 2021 boards and committees list included in the package. That was, we need a motion, so the council, the committee we just added can be added formally to the committees list. So could we have that motion, please?
So as amended for tonight, just for clarity.
Thank you, Councillor Jones. You want to make the motion?
I'll make the motion. That
We accept the committee list.
we accept the committee list as presented by Linda.
Second by Councillor Chad. All those in favor, please raise a hand. Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. In your package, we'll move on. In your package tonight was a new CAO policy. We need a motion to accept that. Even though we've got it, we should have that made a motion. We've made some amendments to it.
On this as well, I'm sorry, Your Worship. Yeah, just a quick note, you received it in your email 7 days ago. It's required for me to get it out to you within 7 days, so just for policy setting purposes. We can approve it tonight, okay.
Yes. So could someone from personnel make a motion to approve that? Okay, I guess it's Councillor Colburn had his hand up for a motion. Could we have a seconder? Second by Councillor Black. All those in favor of adopting the CAO policy as was included, presented, motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Correspondence. 6.1, I'll turn it over to Linda for this. She can give you the background a bit, not much, but.
Okay, thank you, Your Worship. So 6.1, we had some correspondence requiring some services, water and sewer services up on Black River Road. So those requests, we have a Carla and Mark Benjamin requesting for water and sewer to join in on Oxford's, and all these conditions and costs would be up to the owner, developer, as they're doing this. As well as Shelley Mattinson and Darren Rogers looking for a connection of just the water service. They would like to connect in on our water as well.
We talked about something earlier, about expanding the borders.
No, yeah, but there's water up that level.
It would fall in and be cut.
Yeah, if we change the boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now, there's still services right by their place. Water and sewer.
There's a water and sewer? Okay.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead, Councillor Jones.
There was a rumor that the Department of Highways were going to put a new line in there. What is happening with that?
I was talking to our local MLA, Tori Rushton, and we're expecting the deputy mayor of Department of Transportation to discuss this at some time in the near future. So they haven't contacted us yet, but we're on the list of people to come see. So there's been nothing yay or nay, but they're coming up to see us about this. That's all I have right now.
Okay, but that, I mean, that doesn't have anything to do with this connection.
No, that doesn't, no.
It's the same street, it's the only thing that brought it up.
They're gonna cost you or something.
So do we need a motion to approve those additions to our town services?
To approve them, but I think you have questioned by 2 others here.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So a few years ago, this topic came up and direction was given to the individuals to contact county council and come to back with us with an agreement or a decision with county council that because they are part of the county, that we felt at the time that the county should approach us for extending the water and sewer for that area.
That's going by the
And
sewer.
one other thing too, is with that water line that's there, I believe it's not up to par, so I don't know how much more, you know, we can get out of it with more houses and stuff on it until it is repaired. But if it was going to be repaired, that would be the time to do it, but I'm pretty sure that we told them to go back to county council and get the recommendation through county council to come to us with an agreement so that we're not infringing on the county residents and things like that.
I'm probably not here for that.
Yeah. Can you check on that, Linda?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Bring this
okay.
up.
So can we defer this for the meantime until we get some sort of clarification?
We have a question from Councillor Colburn.
Oh, okay. Go ahead, Counselor.
I just have a comment. When Greg Matson hooked up to it, he didn't go to the county, he came to the town and asked permission from the town if he could hook up to the town water. He run the line down himself all the way down the side of the road and hooked onto the end of the town line. And one other thing, they do not have sewer up to their house. They would have to put a small lift station in the pump to our last manhole. Our last manhole is at the town line. The Department of Transportation's hooked on their system, obviously, and they're in the county.
The transportation's hooked on which system, sorry?
They're hooked onto the town sewer and water, but they're also in the county.
Okay.
Yeah.
But our sewer doesn't go by
No.
this location?
No, the manhole, our last manhole stops at the town limits.
So are they able to put a pumping station in, like, kind of like what John Swan did in the subdivision and pump to it?
They can pump into the manhole, and they still have to pay the sewer rate, same as everybody else, because they're pumping their wastewater into our system.
So can they hook onto that line without causing any more grief to us? Because I know that we said we couldn't hook on to the Department of Transportation because the line wasn't big enough to handle it.
The time that when they have problems, it's when the Department of Transportation are making brine. And they take so much water at the time that then it cuts the pressure back.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's why they want the new line, the Department of
Right.
Transportation.
So we may need to table this to the next meeting to get some more research on this.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, if Greg, I didn't realize Greg could hook up to it, but if Greg, I mean, I don't remember, Greg approval, but anyways.
It says in our bylaw, written letter from the residents to us is what we need in our bylaw, the sewer bylaw.
Okay.
Yeah, is a written letter from the residents that are interested in.
They will have to get permission from the Department of Transportation down the side of the road.
Yeah.
They won't be, they gotta get permission from them. That's great that they do that. Anybody that's in the county like that, you have to get permission from the Department of Transportation, because they have to go down the road and then cross over. That line that goes by their house, that line belongs to Greg Matson. So they
And they're gonna tap into that.
No, that's not,
Okay.
I don't think Greg wants them to tap into it, I shouldn't say that, but.
Okay. But
At
they're
the time,
gonna,
he was gonna put a bigger line in, and the people up there didn't want it at the time, but now they realize that their water's not very good, and, because he would have put a bigger line in, but in the first place.
so their line's going directly into the town line that's already going to the plowshed.
Yes,
Then what, did he run like a 1-inch line or something up to his place?
yeah, there's two places hooked onto it now.
Okay, so,
It's gonna, be a deterrent to the rest of the residents there. I think what's happening at the plowshed is probably more of a draw of water than anything else.
Oh, yes, there's not a problem, they're making wrong.
And when they're making it, they got no water.
Yeah, they take the
I
water,
mean, no doubt.
and that's why they're talking about they drilled wells up there, and one of the wells has already been overpumped, and so they still don't have enough water.
I just wonder if they went to the county, I know in Amherst, the county's expanded the water system out of Amherst and stuff, and maybe if they, if the county wanted to do a water project or something up there, they might be able to, get a proper system put in, or, I don't know. But I don't know why they wouldn't go to their county councilors and get them to deal with through them, but.
We can table this for the next meeting and I can check.
Put it on the agenda for the next meeting. You want a motion for it, or?
To,
or then we can table it.
I think we just get some more information on it.
Yeah, do some discovery.
we table this to the next meeting then.
Yeah, more research required.
Okay,
And also, your worship, I wonder if it wouldn't hurt to send a letter to the Department of Transportation and ask if they could follow up on their new water line proposal. I
sure.
mean, it's not brine season now, but I mean, it's going to be in 6 months' time. It'd be nice if they got that work done before the fall.
Right. Yep. We'll send off a letter, see what their intentions are.
Okay,
Okay, so we're going to table that till the next meeting.
yes, we should have a motion for that though, just to
Okay,
table.
there's a motion, please. Moved by Councilor McDonald. Seconded by Councilor Black. All those in favor of tabling the motion till the next meeting? Motion carried. Thank you, everybody. Next up, Linda again, Rebecca Carter's got a request for a donation.
Yes, so this request is in the package. She's looking for, she's reaching out to discuss the possibility of a donation to the skilled trades department of the school. There's, students have recently completed 2 picnic tables for the school through a grant, and they turned out fantastic, she says. They're loved by the school population as a place to eat under nice weather. So she's looking, she can provide the space and labor for students to build the tables, and she would be looking for a donation of materials. The amount would depend on if the town is interested in this arrangement and how many they would like. So this was just sent before us here tonight for council to consider. They would like to donate for a picnic table to the school.
They didn't, if I may,
Mhm.
they didn't say any amount that they're looking for, they're just,
And not for materials, maybe we could cap an amount. We'd like to make a motion.
Where are these picnic tables going?
We could actually put that in the motion as well, that they could put it towards the park or someplace where they gather, the students.
How's the picnic table in front of the town hall looking these days?
It's well used and could definitely be an upgrade. So it's used every day by the students here at Cameron Home, that one there. So something to think about. We could talk about it at budget discussions if you want to table it for that.
Councilor McNutt, go ahead, please.
What about Black River Park? Are there many picnic tables in there? Because the kids use that all lunch for.
I believe there's one there. I'm not sure if there's more than one. Does anyone know? I've noticed one in there. We could definitely put 2 in there, like there's another one in there. But this could also go in a budget discussion item too.
Should go for your budget.
Today's lumber prices, I wonder what the 2 picnic tables would cost.
oh yeah, it'd be nice to get a number. They must have some idea what materials cost to make the tables.
Yeah,
Yeah,
quote
so-
and put it to
yeah.
maybe budget meeting.
No.
Yeah.
Is this something though that, like, remember this is already April and school is done in June. So we can't put this off because this is something that they're gonna need to do. So
Yeah.
can we come up with a dollar value and just give them a donation?
Yeah, we can do anything like that. Is there anything you would like to make a motion of, or?
Or we can wait and just do it in September. Like, I'm just thinking there's no sense in us giving them money, in the end of May or June or something like that, because school's over. So if we're going to do budget, we can say that maybe we look into it and give it to them in the start of the next year,
The fall,
next school year.
makes sense. Okay. Would someone like to make a motion to that effect or something else?
Okay, put it in our budget as a request.
Budget request?
Okay, do we need to make a motion to do that, Linda?
Going that direction. No, we're good.
Okay, good. 6.3 is going to be done in camera. 6.4, exhibition committee maintenance request. Recommendation from Public Works Committee. Paul, Councilor Jones, I'll turn the floor over to you.
Brenton and I, Councilor Colburn, I looked at the snow on the fence over at the arena, and we think that the town crew can probably repair that once, the snow will be gone by now. So I think it's something the town crew can do very easily, so.
Fair fit, fence.
So that's, I think Linda is sending a letter for that.
Yes, and we also had, they had raised a couple other issues with removing some dirt that was piled up there, and there was another post and things like that, so all those things we felt could be handled by our own department, and also been tasked to the department, and they're working on that now. Actually, the dirt's been removed already, I guess, so.
Very strong.
Good. Okay. Next on our list is 6.6 NSCC Foundation update on auction groceries for the 21-22 school year. Linda?
Yeah, so in your package, due to the bursary that we give out each year there to NSCC Foundation, there was 2 recipients in which they sent a nice thank you to. We had Hope Rushton that received the bursary, as well as Madison Mills, and I believe they're both from Oxford.
Excellent. Congratulations, girls. Okay. Next up, we're going to go in camera and discuss a couple items. We'll be back after we come out of camera, those watching at home. Could we have a motion from the floor to go into in camera, please? Moved by Councilor Jones. Do we have a seconder? Second by Councilor Adshed. And Linda,